Welcome to the Real Pros of DC. Each week we interview some of the DC metro area's top professionals and discuss topics related to this unique real estate market. I'm your host, William McCoy, and this is the Real Pros of DC. Welcome to the Real Pros of DC, where we interview some of the top real estate professionals in the DC area. My name is William McCoy. I'm your host. I have here Taylor, Alicia, Paul, and the extraordinary Mark Mullen from Lock7. How you doing, Mark?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Good, man. So I love those condos and other buildings that you guys have in DC. They're absolutely amazing. The wood, the stone, the glass, they're just so modern looking, but they're also functional as well. So I love the way they look. I always tell my wife all the time when we ride past them going to like Brooklyn Paint that I would love to get those, but our family's grown, so it wouldn't be. But they're still absolutely a beautiful, beautiful place to be. But yeah, tell us how you got involved with Lock7 and your history with them.
Yeah, so Lock7 is just a DC-based real estate development firm. We're also a general contractor. So half of our projects we act as the general contractor and the developer. The other half of the projects we act strictly as a developer. And my involvement is pretty much I help run the projects where we are the general contractor. Very cool. So I'm involved more in the day-to-day and things that happen on site as far as getting permits and making sure everything is keeping up with the schedule.
Wow. And then, so when you take on a project, then how do you decide whether you're going to use a general contractor or if you're not going to use a general contractor?
So that depends on a lot of things. First thing is the size of the project. If it's a large project, we'll typically hire a larger general contractor, just because we don't have the manpower to build some of these larger, 40 unit.
How big is Lock7?
So we have 3 project managers, we have 3 superintendents, and we have about 25 carpenters.
Okay, and that manages then how many projects that you guys do, I guess you oversee the general contracting of that project? Yeah,
well, we act as the general contractor on anywhere from, well, right now we have 4 current projects that are under construction, and we have about 3 in the pipeline that will probably act as a general contractor. And then on the side of that, we can have anywhere from 2 to 3 larger projects where we're interviewing general contractors and that sort of thing. And
so what are those top 4 right now that you guys have in the pipeline? I know people would love to know.
Yeah.
Anything that we have on the pipeline, we have a project on M Street Northwest that.
When is that slated to be done?
Well, we're still working on getting the permit now. Okay. So I think that'll probably take about 11 months to construct. We have another one on 8th Street Northwest that we're hoping to start soon. And then there's always projects there's some that are tied up or that are under contract right now. So we think we're going to build them, but we don't really know until obviously settlement happens.
Are there certain areas of DC that you focus on, or are you kind of wanting to branch out everywhere?
We kind of look to branch out everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, we work pretty much strictly in DC. We look throughout the whole DMV, but it's like we seem to know DC best. We feel more comfortable there. That's like kind of our bread and butter. So we look elsewhere, but we always seem to end up building in.
Well, the demand's not slowing down, that's for sure.
No,
especially with the recent news that we might have gotten.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon,
right?
I know.
So is that going to affect you? I was in Crystal
That's
City.
pretty amazing.
But I mean, I imagine it will affect you.
I'm sure we'll look at things there, but we'll see.
Mark, how long does it take a unit to get built and then listed?
It's I would say in DC, it's hard to get out of a project in under a year, just with all the permitting.
That seems quick, actually.
I say it's hard to get out under a year. Like most of them take, I would say, a year and 3 months.
Gotcha.
Probably like 15 months total.
What's the size then that would normally be?
Well, we do some like 2-unit condo conversions from like an existing row home. Those typically take a little less time because it's only 2 units, but we're working on like a 9 unit right now, an 8 unit, and a 12 unit. And those, if we get out,
is that the general size that you guys probably do?
Yeah, that's about our general size of our units. But those are really hard to get out, from permit to C of O in under a year.
Mm-hmm. And are those from ground up, or are they like kind of like 2 units next to each other?
Well, we do a lot of 2 units on top of each other, like a 2-unit flat.
Mm-hmm.
An existing townhome will turn that into a 2-unit flat. but a lot of them, they're not usually next to each other. It all really depends on the lot, the property, the zoning, what we can build, and what makes the most sense.
What kind of factors do you look for when picking a location and scouting a location?
So I'm not involved that much in acquisitions. We kind of, I mean, like everyone who builds in DC or lives in DC, most people want to be near Metro.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, so we look near metros.
Yeah.
We also look where, you know, where there is some new construction going on in the area. Some areas, like it's, you know, well, the land value or the land cost in DC is just really high as it is. So we kind of look for areas where we think there's value. I mean, that, you know, that can change literally from block to block, but yeah, I mean.
So you guys have a general modern design of it. Like, what inspired? Do you know what inspired that design, or?
No, I'm not too involved in the design. We have 2 in-house designers that pretty much pick all of our finishes and make sure the building turns out the way, you know, they want it to look.
Yeah, it seems like form fits function there. So
yeah, I mean, I think they do a great job, you know, but.
Do you feel like there's a certain aesthetic that they go for, like across the board? Or do you think like each project is different?
They seem to pick more like contemporary finishes, but it is kind of like project to project. It has to do with like the size of the project, how much we're, you know, planning on listing the project for, and that sort of thing, and they kind of pick the finishes to fit.
So where's Lock7 looking to grow? Like where they, what's the target here? Like what are they looking to be in the future? As far as a developer.
Yeah, we just started planning a new 63 unit affordable housing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that's right off of Rhode Island. So that's
kind
of
bigger.
Yeah, we're obviously not building that ourselves. But
Yeah,
that's something new for us. We just finished a storage facility actually in Petworth. So that was
nice.
That's something new outside of, you know, our comfort zone, so to speak. But it worked out really well. Yeah, we just built an extra space in Petworth.
That's awesome. So it's like you guys are definitely growing.
Yeah, we're trying a little bit of everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Where are most of your projects right now? Like of the 4 that you have, are they all in one area? Or are they spread out?
Most of them are in Petworth, and we have one project on 12th Street.
In Brookland?
Brookland, yeah.
Okay.
So Petworth is kind of where your
Right now, it's kind
bread and
of.
butter is a little
Petworth
bit.
is hot.
Oh,
right?
oh my
So,
gosh!
yeah.
Like I don't know how many starter families I've had moved in there, and
Right.
so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's definitely a smart place to be.
Yeah.
Mark, when you look at it, what is one of your favorite developments that you guys got going on, aesthetically, or just because of location, or which one kind of like piques your interest and say, yeah, I really like that one?
We did a 2-unit in Shaw, pretty much like probably about a year and a half ago.
Right.
It was, I mean, they were larger units. They each listed for over 1.2, and that was kind of cool to work on. I mean, it was definitely cool to work on, and the end product was you know, very nice. Had very nice finishes and a great neighborhood. And it was just like, you know, I could easily see why someone would want to live there. And it was just a really fun project altogether. You know, the neighborhood was nice. Just everything went pretty smoothly. It was just, yeah.
So are you going to move into those?
I wish, yeah. Someday, hopefully.
When you walk into a unit, is there a way that you can tell whether like you guys did the construction or someone did like a shoddy job on their construction? Is there like a dead giveaway or anything?
There's not a dead giveaway, but there's a lot of things that I look for. Like always look at the stairs, especially in row homes. Because the layout's so tight that the stairs, you know, a carpenter really has to know what they're doing. They really have to know how to lay out the stairs because, you know, there's certain rules or there's code that makes sure, you know, the riser height and the tread depth all has to be very specific. So that can be very tight.
Okay.
So if you don't plan it out in advance, there can be some like little weird quirks that you see in the stairs. So that's one thing I look for. Also look at, I mean, I pretty much look anywhere, anytime there's 2 materials that come together, like any place where a drywall meets a door, meets a floor, the transition should be pretty smooth. If it's not, then you kind of question, you know, the experience and the knowledge of the carpenter.
So you guys are probably really huge on quality. I know that there's been developers out there like Pulte or other developers out there who put like a little stamp. You guys put like a little L7 somewhere in the building or something like that to let people know that it's you guys.
Do you pull like a Stan Lee?
Right.
I know.
Do a little cameo
Rest
inside.
his soul.
So on some of our projects, we put a plaque right to the right of the front door or somewhere near the front door that says, you know, it was developed by Lock7.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
That sort of thing.
So then we know, like we're listening or going out to see a L7. That's you guys.
Yep, you'll see.
Yeah.
How it
Well,
goes.
now I'll be
clients
looking
like
for-
to know.
Yeah,
They like
yeah,
to know
absolutely.
who developed
Yeah.
this. So that's
Yeah.
nice we can point that out.
And I'll be looking for those things that you were talking about now.
Yeah, right. The
Yeah.
rises, the
And
stairs.
but speaking of that, I mean, you kind of touched on what you look for
Mm-hmm.
when you go in, you know, to find places or what have you. But what is a piece, like what's a nugget that our audience should know to look for or keep in mind with new construction?
Yeah, so I would say
Great question.
I would say don't get caught up in don't get too caught up in the the very expensive finishes. That doesn't necessarily infer that the construction was done to a very high standard. I mean,
Wow.
because most people walk in, they see the granite countertop, they see the stainless steel appliances, and think, "Wow, this place is put together so well." But kind of like the things I was saying earlier, you look at any place, two different materials come together. I would say, try to maybe go in, maybe walk a property with someone who knows a thing or two about construction, and see if the cabinets are level, see if the faces of the cabinets line up. That's one thing I always check as well. Try to see if the floors are level. Because like I said, most people walk in, they see all the expensive finishes,
Yeah.
and they're like, wow, this place
Right.
Bells
How-
and
this place is
Exactly,
immaculate,
yeah.
but then that doesn't necessarily infer
Equate
some of
to
the
it.
issues that could happen later down on the line, and some of the things, because a lot of, when you live in a home for 6 months, you're going to start to realize, some of the
So don't be
quirks.
distracted by
Yeah,
the
don't-
shiny,
exactly.
The shiny
big,
finishes.
fancy
I mean,
appliances.
yeah.
I completely
5,
understand,
6,
yeah.
7 burner stoves.
Exactly.
First thing you notice.
How do I work this? Like what?
So Mark,
look
tell us
deeper.
what makes Lock7 a differentiator compared to the rest of the developers out there?
I think we try to build. I would say we try to build projects that have value in them. We try to, we try to build with quality projects.
Yeah,
Try to build quality.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, projects. Try to really have some value to them. So we try to price them competitively.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're not skimping on the quality of construction or the finishes, that sort of thing.
So Mark, how do we find out about Lock7 Development?
So you can go to our website, lock7.com. We actually just listed a new condo building in Petworth. It's technically the Parkview neighborhood. That's
okay.
Yeah, it's at 705 Irving Street Northwest. Some 1- and 2-bedroom condos there. That
Awesome.
We just had our first open house. It was a rough open house, so we're not completely finished construction, but
Right.
people are starting to, come through the units. This past weekend, and our first formal open house is this weekend.
Let's all go tour
Oh,
those.
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, this is William McCoy with the Real Pros of DC. We have Mark Mullen. Thank you, Mark, for having us on the show. Thanks
you,
for coming
Mark.
on the show,
Thank
Mark.
you. Thanks for having me.
Excellent job today. We look forward to talking to you guys next time.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Real Pros of DC. Have a real estate topic you would like us to discuss? Go to www.therealprosofdc.com and submit your idea and see footage of the show. See you next time.